What's going on, guys? This is Uche, and Sneaker Principal. It's Wednesday night, so I record Financial Literacy Matters for Thursday. I gotta get my schedule right. It's always confusing. I'm confusing myself, but Wednesday night is when I record my episodes, weekly episodes on financial literacy, which I call Financial Literacy Matters, and it ends up airing on Thursdays. So uh right now we need to do one quick thing here and make sure I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay. Oh yeah. So I gotta tell you guys off the bat, I struggled this week with trying to figure out what exactly I was going to focus on because so far I've talked about FICO, I've talked about um I visited strategies for making sure that you're keeping your credit score high based on just implementing practices around timely payment and managing your overall utilization on your credit. And then I was like, okay, now what do I talk about next? And I have to be honest with you, I've been super academic, I guess. Like I feel like I've been teaching and preaching versus just talking to y'all about certain things. So what I want to do this week is this. Um, I want to do a little bit story time with a lesson behind it. Because today, the universe kicked me in the butt, and I found myself in a situation where I had to deal with American Express and Amazon, two major companies in the financial world. Really, people might say Amazon financial world. Yeah, a lot of dollars move through Amazon, so they are also a financial institution. And today, I was faced with the dilemma of having to deal with those two companies and a theft of my identity, which was discovered today. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start. So I'm gonna get comfortable here because I got a story to tell. Remember that song by Biggie? I got a story to tell. So this is what happened. So today, long day as usual. So as you guys know, I'm a high school principal, juggling between running a school and all the other commitments that is tied in with that, and also teaching. So today's the end of the a time frame for our progress report grades. So I'm grading papers and making sure I'm putting grades in for my students. Then I look at my phone and all of a sudden I see that there's a message from American Express saying that there was a charge on my card and it was charge was done without my physical card being there. They will send you a message. You could elect to have them let you know whenever there's a transaction, and it will tell you whether or not the transaction was done on your card or the transaction was done without your card. Maybe somebody just punched in a number. So I was like, okay, what is this? So I looked at it and it says Amazon Marketplace. So I thought to myself, okay, that's not a big deal. Amazon Marketplace, especially right now with the pandemic, a lot of transactions with Amazon. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about it. Amazon Marketplace. Okay. But I was like, wait a minute, Amazon Marketplace on my American Express. My American Express, my Amazon account is set up where I have an actual Amazon card and all my expenditures for Amazon goes on that card. Then I have like two backup cards on there. And one of them is not even a backup card. One of them is a card that I used to make a purchase for Christmas gifts that I didn't want on my Amazon account. So I have three cards on there, but one is a Visa, one is the actual Amazon card. The other one is a Visa, the other one's a MasterCard. I'm asking myself, wait a minute, wait a minute, that's American Express. That's not linked to my Amazon account. So of course I stopped panicking a little bit, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my account that all of a sudden American Express is telling me there's charges on my account from Amazon, which should not be there. So I thought to myself, maybe I made a mistake somewhere. So I stop everything I'm doing. I pull up my phone. I'm going through my American Express card, the card that was identified, and I see the charge on there. There's a charge for like $86 that's pending that was made today. So I'm thinking, okay, what is it? What could that be? So of course I start going through Amazon itself, and I'm like, okay, all these things on here, subscriptions and everything is accounted for. What are they talking about? So of course, I started to doubt myself because I'm thinking maybe I did something wrong. Maybe there's something that I did. I don't know. So I was like, you know what? I told my wife, I gotta go make a call, and she was like, go ahead. So I called Amazon, and I was trying to figure out, like, first of all, with Amazon, it's weird because you have to kind of like go through all these hoops and just to get someone on the phone, you have to jump through all these hoops. But eventually, I got somebody to call me back from Amazon. So I'm trying to explain to them what's going on, and the one gentleman is very helpful, and he's looking and he's trying to find some kind of identifier on my billing statement from American Express that says what this thing is. There's supposed to be a code there. There's no code. And I'm looking through it. There's nothing there apart from some bunch of numbers. Then it says bookstore. And he was like, I can't do anything with that. I'm looking for a 9-digit code with the asterisk in the beginning. Searched everywhere. There's nothing there. So as he tells me to hold on. And he's going to look for another way to see if he can help me. So I'm holding on. I'm sitting there holding on. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, so you're waiting, but you're on hold. So I start flipping through my American Express account, my statement. There's two more charges from Amazon Marketplace on my statement from late November for this billing cycle that has not been that hasn't gone out yet. So I'm thinking, okay, am I bugging here? But listen, it's the holidays, so we're buying a lot of things, gifts for nieces and nephews and things like that. And I'm doubting myself. I'm like, no, maybe this is maybe I'm making a big deal here. It's something. Maybe it's one of the third-party vendors that maybe they didn't charge. I'm confused. But as I'm waiting, I pull up Amazon, my actual Amazon statements, and I'm seeing every charge, everything that we purchased, over the course of the month. And these 3 charges on my American Express to Amazon Marketplace is not on my Amazon account. So the gentleman comes back and he's like, listen, I'm going to bring my supervisor on. So when they say I'm going to bring my supervisor on, things about to go left. So she comes on. She's very pleasant. She's like, I'm going to try to help you. So she goes through all the same thing that the gentleman's asking me for, the identifying number, order number on my statement. There's none. Then she tells me, okay, here's a couple of options. However, this one, and the options are like, I'm going to check this, I'm going to check that, I'm going to check that. But she's like, the final option is this: you have to take that American Express card that you have and add it to your account. But once you add it to our account, we will be able to flag if there's any other account out there that has that same credit card attached to it. So I'm like, bet. And she's like, and then she's like, wait a minute, you're very calm about this. I'm like, what am I going to do? Start yelling? Start screaming? There's no point to that. I just need to know what's going on. Then she puts the card in there, and I put my card in, and then she comes back and says, found it. And I was like, found what? She's like, there's another account. She's like, I need to confirm whether or not this account is yours. So she starts going through the account. She's trying to compare telephone numbers. Numbers don't match. I give her my number, give her my wife's number. My old number didn't match. We went through she went through all the orders that were on that account, and they matched 7 or 8 transactions on my American Express that I completely missed. Some of you are wondering, how are you going to have 8 transactions on your account on American Express and you didn't catch the fact that those transactions were there? I'm going to explain that to you in a little bit. I'm going to explain that to you in a second. So she goes through them and she starts reading to me what's been ordered. They're the most random things. A cell phone cover for iPhone 8. I'm like, iPhone 8? Why would you? Okay, listen, some people are into retro phones. And she goes for iPad Air and and she goes through all these random things, grill sets and just random things. None of the transactions were ever over $100, and they were never under $60, but there were eight of them. So eventually what happens is she stops and says, okay, clearly this is an account that's been created with your credit card without your knowledge. And I asked her, so where are all these things being shipped to? She says, Phoenix. I'm like, Arizona? She's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, that's good because I live in New York and I'm from California. I've driven past Phoenix maybe once or twice. Never lived in Phoenix. So she goes ahead and freezes the pending transaction. She writes up the whole entire everything else for to be investigated for fraud, and she said they're gonna have to contact that person and confirm and everything else. And as long as the person is not able to confirm that they have the card, which they don't, because I have the card, then they'll handle it from there. So now I was like, okay, now I had to remove the card out of my account, because remember I put that card on my account so they can kind of do like a skip trace or trace that card, and that's how they found the dummy account. So now I went back and pulled that card out, thanked them, and they were like, the lady was so much like, thank you so much for being so calm, and I was like, and I get it, because I've worked in customer service. I used to work for Wells Fargo Bank when I was in college, doing commercial loans, and people could be so disrespectful when it comes to money. And that's one of those things where I tell people, like, we run money, we don't let money run us, and there's no need to like get belligerent, because at the end of the day, their job is to try to help us. So she helped me. I thanked her. I gave her a God bless you, and now I had to call American Express. So I called American Express, and one thing I want to tell you about American Express that I think is primo is when you call them. So the card that the issue was on is my platinum card. So as soon as you call them with the platinum card, I've never been put on hold, which I think is weird, because I know they're a big bank, but every single time I've called American Express, I have never been put on hold. I'm connected with somebody immediately. So the concierge gets on the phone with me, or whoever the person is, and she's like, okay, how can I help you? I explained to her, I got a message from you guys. It says there was a charge on my account, because I made the selection so that to be notified if there's ever a charge on my account, and it says that this charge was done without the presence of my credit card. So I told him I checked it, and I found out that it wasn't a charge that I made. I called Amazon. Amazon confirmed that there was a dummy account, and somebody had stolen my identity and opened an account with them, and was making charges there. So they were like, okay, let's see what we can do. And I swear that if I would, I swear that I felt like they were about to ask me, "You would like some coffee or tea while you wait?" They were so polite. So they went through the process, and the whole time they apologized and they say, it's so unfortunate this is happening and all these other things. And they pulled up their accounts, and it was confirmed. It was almost $500 in charges over the course since July, and it was about 8 charges total. I know you're probably thinking, how the heck do you have your American Express Platinum card being billed since July, random payments, and now it's December, you didn't catch that? I'll explain that in a second. So at this point in time, they go through the whole entire process. They shut down that card. They send me a new platinum card, and they confirm my address and all that stuff. And they're pretty much like, listen, we'll go ahead and do our part, and you should be fine. And that was pretty much it. No scolding. No, you should have done better. And that was it. Now, let's get to the bread and butter of the story. How is it possible that somebody was charging on my account and I did not see it? So, number one, I have to take responsibility for that. It's one of the things that I really believe in, and maybe I've gotten too comfortable. Maybe my life now with good credit is more comfortable, because I felt like when my credit was horrible and I was building it, I was always paying attention to every little detail. Now I'm a couple years in, got the platinum cards, got this card, got that card, have high balances, high credit limits and everything else. Everything is good, right? But the thing is, the practices that got me to this point, that got me out of the hell of having bad credit and being that revolving door of high interest rates and being disrespected and being ashamed of having bad credit. Those all the things that I did then to get me to this point, I have definitely relaxed on, which I shouldn't do. It doesn't mean I should be obsessing on my credit. It doesn't mean I should be losing my mind, and every single thing, every time a point drops or a point does something weird, I should be freaking out. The most important thing is to be aware of what's on your credit, and in my case, in this situation, be aware of what's on my account statements. That card is a card that I use mainly when I'm traveling. So I'm not traveling. So that card literally is locked in the house in a drawer, you know. So it doesn't even leave the house. It's not even in my wallet. There are four bills that get paid on that card every month. My insurance, my club membership at at the at the uh, at the Princeton Club, um, and I think my cell phone, because right now they're doing that 20% rebate that you get on if you pay your any of your cell phone or any kind of like cable or whatever on your American Express Platinum. And I think there's one more thing that's on there, and that's just revolving. So every month I just pay to that bill, and that's it. So in my mind, I'm comfortable thinking that there's nothing for me to worry about. It's my card is in the drawer, it's in the house. But what I should be doing is at least every other month, pull out all my statements and just go through it. Just go through every single one and say, okay, all right, this looks good. This looks good. Oh, wait a minute, what is this? Oh, wait a minute, I don't know what that is. Let me check, let me do some research and figure out what that is. Because the reality is this, that is what good financial literacy skills is based on. If you're financially literate, you know that you run your life like a business and you account for every dime that's being spent, whether it's good money being spent or bad money being spent. I mean, like good money is when you're budgeting and making sure everything is planned out, or even if it's bad money, when you just going on a spree and doing what you want to do. But still, track your money, because at the end of the day, you should be aware of what's coming in, what's going out. And I didn't do that. I scaled back. I'm still pretty disciplined. Like, I have all my bills on a spreadsheet. I do everything like that. I do check my credit score monthly. I go through my credit report and see if there's anything weird on there. Maybe every other month, But now I'm thinking, like, the time frame that I used to go over my credit. It's important, especially now. I'm going to tell you why, especially now. This is probably going to be the worst time for those of us who are nervous about hey, brother Mental Credit Jams, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Those of us who are nervous about identity theft, if you've ever been nervous, like, damn, I gotta be very careful with that. This is open season right now. I'll tell you why. Because we're living our lives online right now. Like Amazon, this year Christmas, let's be honest here, most of us are just buying it online. We're buying this stuff online, having it shipped to family. Back in the day, you go buy all your gifts, you wrap it yourself, and then you're going over to your friends' houses and you're dropping it off there, right? Or to your family's homes, you're dropping it off. But right now, we're not doing that right now. Right now, what we're doing is we're literally, because of COVID-19 and the restrictions, and depending on where you are, we're buying stuff online and we're shipping it. Or we're buying groceries online and they're bringing it to our house, which means a lot of our transactions on our cards, which means that it requires our credit cards for those transactions. And the reality is, no matter how much we want to think it's all secure, listen, there is an army of tech nerds out there who are able to break firewalls and get into spaces and breach banks and breach credit card companies. We know what's happening because we've seen this happen. It happened this year with American Express. It happened this year with Bank of America. It happened with Wells Fargo a couple of years back, and they said nothing about it. This is the space we're in right now, and sometimes we're not practicing good judgment with where we put our credit cards and what companies or what websites. So you never know who's copying, who might be selling your cards. In my case, because I wasn't paying attention and because the amounts were so small, $50 here, $60 here, like for me, I just wasn't, it didn't register in my brain. So somebody might say, damn, why they just, if they're going to sell an identity to open an account, why are they only spending $50, $60, $70, here and there? Because if they're doing this 100 times, meaning they have 100 credit cards that they've stolen and identities they've stolen, and they're doing that, or they're doing that 1,000 times. So that's 50,000 times 1,000. That's $50,000 a month, And look it up. People would take your identity, go on Amazon, buy little things, and go back and sell it. So they use your money to buy stuff, then they'll take that stuff and sell, and to get that cash. So the thing is, we have to be very, cognizant of what's happening with with our documents, with our financial statements. You know, if you're old school, you still get it by mail. Open it up, read through it, real quick. Just look at. Just look at what's on there. You know, go online. Go online, download it. You know, the PDF file. Go through it and see what is on there, because I'm telling you, right now, I guarantee you, there's somebody in this call right now. There's 8 people right now. 8, I think, no, 11 people right now who are paying attention to this. I guarantee you, one of you right now, if you go through your credit steps, you're going to find something that you didn't know was there. And it might be something small, it might be something big. But what's happening right now, we're living in a world of information overload. We're doing so much in this digital space that we're not paying attention. We're becoming lazy, you know. So it's very, very important. And I'm telling you, like, I'm preaching right now, but I'm just thinking to myself, what if that was my American Express card? What if they went ahead and made a major purchase, $5, $6, $7, $10,000? You know, what if they were good enough to do it where maybe they did something and sent it to my house and were watching my house, and all of a sudden they picked it up before I even knew it was on the front step? Then you have UPS or whoever saying, hey, here's the picture, we delivered it to your house. Then what do I do then? So again, it's very, very important that we are paying attention to what's happening, you know, what's happening with our finances, especially what's documented. Credit Jams, thank you so much for the congratulations on the newborn. Yes, for those of you who don't know, my sister had a beautiful, beautiful baby girl. She came super early, but she's doing really well. She should be going home real soon. So thank you so much for that. Congratulations. Family is growing, and but yeah. So this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about this evening, and just really implore you guys to make sure you're paying attention to that. And again, your credit well, I'm tripping right now. Your credit statements, your credit report, not credit statement, your credit report, same thing. Go through it. And that's even a place where crazy stuff happens. Somebody could open an account in your name and you would not know it. You could go for months and not even know something's happening in your credit report, because usually we don't look at it until we're making a major purchase. Or sometimes we're looking at it and we're seeing our credit score is high and we think everything is good. Because I heard stories about people who've bought houses in other people's names and were making the mortgage payments. And the person whose credit was on didn't even realize, because they got an 800, so they're thinking to themselves, everything is cool, everything's copacetic. Now realizing there's a mortgage sitting on your credit report that you don't even know about. And people have done that with cars. People have done that with credit cards, you know. And the whole entire time you don't know until you know. And by the time you know, it's usually too late, because somebody has stopped paying, or whatever that account is has been destroyed, and then now you're left, you know, holding the bag. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about this evening. Just, we have to make it a common practice. Okay. Number one, your credit report, at least, I would say with that one, at least every other month, if you're able to, which means you're going to have to probably pay a little fee. I pay for, my FICO, what's it called? I just want to make sure I'm calling the right thing. It's an app, and it's tied to, it's called My FICO. It's from FICO. It's called My FICO, and it's like $40 a month. Listen, that $40 a month for me is worth it, because that's like my insurance. I just want to make sure, for somebody who came from a sub 500 credit score to where I'm at right now in the 700s, I was that low because I wasn't paying attention to my credit. I didn't want to see the disaster that was on paper. But now I pay attention to it, because I want to make sure I don't repeat history by hiding from whatever might be on there. So, but if you're not able to do that, then get like Credit Karma. Credit Karma is free. I think it's still around, it's free. And yes, the score part of it is fugazi, because they have a different matrix than FICO. FICO is the real deal as far as your credit score. But I'm not even talking about your credit score. I'm talking about reading what accounts are in there. Okay, it's very important. I gotta put this on screen right here. This is wisdom right here. Okay, people get rich off nickels and dimes that we never miss. You know, I watch every penny. That's very, very true. Very, very true. I was telling my wife about this. There was a film that I watched. I don't remember the name of this film, and they were talking about how um, hackers had programmed a worm that would go through bank accounts, through financial systems, and literally steal nickels, 5 cents here, 10 cents there from each account. But if you're looking at 100 million accounts, if you keep taking a dime from each account, you're not going to miss a dime. I'm not going to miss a dime. But a dime 100 million times, that's a lifetime of wealth right there. And that's the thing. We like Brother Credit Jam said, we don't miss the pennies and the nickels and dimes that other people get rich off of. So if we lose those pennies and dimes, we don't feel it, but we don't realize that after a while, we're going broke and they're getting rich. So you have to watch every penny. You have to make sure you're aware of how everything is going. But yeah, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. I just want to implore you one more time: be aware, do your homework, research yourself, and your account statements. At least that should be done every month. When you get that paper, just read through it real quick. If you just eyeball through it, okay, that all makes sense. You keep it pushing, okay. Do not get lazy with your paperwork when it comes to your credit, when it comes to your accounts. Don't, because there are sharks out there and they're watching you. They're watching you, okay? And they are literally in this virtual space, paying attention to what you're doing. And half the time we don't pay attention to what we're doing. So that's pretty much it, guys. I like to keep these short and sweet, and hopefully this helps someone out there. But I'm gonna say one more time, guarantee. Those of you who are in here right now, if you go right now and start going through your accounts, you're gonna find something. It might be small, but and I pray to God it's not big, but you will find something. Somebody in here is gonna find something, because the reality is that simple, especially right now that we're living online. Everything we do is being recorded by the computers and numbers and everything else. And if you know what you're doing, you can access it. So all right, guys, thank you so much for your attention, your time. Do me a favor, if you appreciate the content that I'm providing for you, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that as we, this community, this Financial Literacy Matters community, creates more wealth and more content is produced, you'll have access to it. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, because you motivate me just by showing up and letting me know, and that what I'm saying makes sense. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Be well, be safe. Those of you in the Northeast, it's snowing outside. It's crazy. Be warm, And if you're out there on the road, drive safely, okay? And I'll see you guys next week, 10:30 Wednesday night. All right, peace, y'all.